15 candidates. Of course, we know the controversy in the middle of their presentation of their candidates. And of course, one particular candidate, as far as many commentators, is that surprised the entire population of this individual. Prefer not to recall name, but anyway. And so we wait to go to the other slide, guys. Are you going to, the other areas of where they filed the nomination? I'd like to see there in, are you ready? That whole presence in Glenmorgan. And of course, as I said, Lambo, Buku, and of course, Cutler Hall. So, yeah, so can we look at what the TPP would have presented earlier today, or, well, I guess they're not ready yet. All right, so, you know, and the other issues, of course, we can speak to the whole question of agriculture, tourism, foreign investment, the whole question of redevelopment of Scarborough. What does that mean? When we say Tobago, what's the slogan? Of course, to put Tobago first again. Put Tobago first again, based on what the PNM is saying, that Tobago is second place or third place. And, you know, of course, Tobago needs its development and how we are approaching development and what does development mean. And then we have infrastructural development, that's one aspect. And we have our whole question of our population size. And I was going to say people development. But if we are not taking care of the nursery, then who will take Tobago forward? And for those of you who are, you know, that's probably time to say a young person is between the age of teenage to 30. And as you cross 30, 35, you're no longer considered a young person. And then when we are still struggling in terms of how many babies are being born, and when we talk about economy and growth, it means, therefore, if you don't have people, you can't talk about the economy, and a real economy that, you know, is sustainable. And so there are those issues that are not being spoken to, except that the only thing is dominating the platforms are the radar. And so where are we? Let's say that tomorrow morning there is peace and there's no need for a radar, and the radar packs up and going back to where it came from. What will be and where are we as a people? How do we really treat with this whole question of development, and what does development mean? So if you know, and then if we say Tobago are we, then we need to put our house in order in terms of how we accommodate growth and prosperity. Growth and prosperity has to do with how your economy turns. And what turns an economy is investment. Investment into, and you could ask me what. And I mentioned a few of those. And again, let's go to the slogan of the PNM, who is saying put Tobago first. What does that mean? And how does that put Tobago in a place where it can be first? I mean, you hear terms like first world country, first status, first. And then we say put Tobago first. Where has Tobago been all these years? That's a good question. All right, so as we said, this is what we saw earlier. We are looking into that again. Would like to see the other areas or the other locations where the parties have been bringing their candidates forward to have them register there or to file the nomination papers. All right, so as soon as we can get the rest of them, we'll be happy so that we can have the audience view as to what has happened. Earlier, we did have those areas where the Chief Secretary would have filed his nomination. Of course, the Chief Secretary, Orlando Kerr, and of course, Miss Dr. Faith Brebner would have filed their nomination at the Glenmorgan multipurpose. Cutler Hall would have been Ian Whitey Pollard and Trevor James for the TPP. For Cutler Hall, there are those, the names are not covered. All right, you were saying something. Let me hear what you were saying so we can move on. Just trying to, you know, as you informed me, I will be able to move accordingly. All right, so that's basically it while I wait on the other, yes? All right, so yeah, so I'm looking at the PNM, and we've seen the PNM. We would like to get to the TPP if you're ready, as to where they are and the other locations, if we do have the varying videos. And I don't want to say video, you're dealing with mainstream television. All right, so this is the TPP, and of course, this was earlier today, and I'm trying to figure where this is at the present moment.
guys in here, I just want to kind of hold up. I don't want to scare the children. Put in a Tobago first, once again. That is our mantra. Because we know Tobago, over the last 4 years, they didn't put you first. They put their friends. And all kind of people from the Trinidad side first. They think they're away. It's time that we tell them we put in Tobago first. Once again. Put Tobago. We have to stand up. We have to stand up for the children. We have to stand up for the children. Look how they do. Look how they take their children too.
All right, so they are going to interview Ms. Petal Benoit. Yes, of course, and she is one of the candidates, Scarborough Mongrace, if I'm not mistaken, and she's been interviewed now. We can go now to the interview.
Ready? Hmm?
Oh, sorry. The process was very smooth. We had the dry run last week, and whatever issues that we had back then were resolved. So this morning, the documents were reviewed, everything was in place, and as you can see, I am officially the People's National Movement's candidate for Scarborough Mongrace.
How confident are you now? And you were confident before, but now that you're officially candidate, how is that confidence level? Where is it at?
The confidence level is at 100. I have been serving this community even without being elected as a representative. I have lived in this community for over 30 years. I shop, work, be with the people through their hills and their valleys. I have been with them in good times and bad times. We have worked together to solve some of the issues in our community, and I will continue to serve, and I look forward to serving Scarborough Mongrace as the representative.
Why do you think the people of Tobago should give you another chance in terms of the party?
This Tobago House of Assembly election, the people will judge the tenure of the PDP independence turned TPP administration. And we have seen where this administration has put Tobago and Tobagonians last. You move around in communities throughout Tobago and you hear the cry of hardship. You hear the cry of lack of opportunities. You hear the cry that people need more from their representative and their Tobago House of Assembly. And as a result, because the TPP did not serve the people, the PNM has done its work. We have done our introspection, and we are back ready with a bold new vision to serve the people of Tobago. We in the PNM says that Tobago deserves better, and the People's National Movement is prepared to put Tobago first again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so that was Petal Benoit, and I said, was it Scarborough? It's Scarborough Mongrace. If I said anything other than that, my apologies. And of course, she's quite confident that PNM, as their slogan implies, is to put Tobago first again. And so we, interested indeed. They were there before the TPP came into power. Well, it was the PDP, and of course they would have left the PDP and would have formed the TPP. And this is the first time that the TPP is facing a THA election. And they went into office under the PDP, and of course after which they formed their own party, and of course they are doing quite well. We watch to see the outcome of this election. Obviously the PNM being the showing force, given they launched last weekend and now they are hitting the road or the trail running, and we are watching very closely as to how this race will end. Very strong, confident there by Petal Benoit, who represents Scarborough Mongrace. And of course, there are other contenders. Of course, Kwesi Devines being the, should we say, the veteran among them, being that he had served in the THA before, and he is going up in the Mace-Nord-Mariah area. Or district rather, and so we watch to see how that. Of course, he's going up against Ian Whitey-Pollard, and we are watching with keen interest. Obviously, there was some controversy surrounding whether they would choose Whitey or someone else, and of course we know the outcome of that. And of course, Ian Whitey-Pollard, that is going to represent the TPP in this upcoming election. And so, well, he's going to contest the election rather, and we watch to see the battle between Kwesi and, of course, Ian Whitey-Pollard. Of course, as I said, interesting slogan though. Tobago is we, the TPP. And I said, I spoke about that a bit earlier this morning about what does that mean. Of course, there are so many things that that is very significant about the Tobago way of life. And the Tobago way of life converted into how we see ourselves as a people is what is very important, and how we represent ourselves. And we represented ourselves quite well in varying disciplines across the world, and we stand out as citizens. However, there are issues that Tobagonians who live here that needs to be treated with, and there are a number of, and when we could outline the issues. And when we are speaking about, let's put Tobago first again, I'm trying to, well, I would hope to have the conversation in this campaign as to what does it mean to put Tobago first, and then how do we embrace the concept that Tobago is we. So these two slogans from the varying parties, the PNM with making Tobago first again, we can ask that, and how do you address the issues that we need to sort out and to put Tobago really first from their standpoint? What is the vision going forward? What you have not done that you should have done while you were there? And the TPP, how will they and how do they see themselves as making Tobago we, or we's Tobago? how does that impact for our prosperity and our growth, and as a people who have and if we are honest, we've come a long way in this Tobago here. I could remember the days when we didn't have running water, when we didn't have certain, amenities and so on. And we are at that place now. But the transition is to bring us to a place where we can enjoy the vision of those who would lead us to prosperity and growth. And that's the biggest challenge for any government. And what does that mean? It means investment. What are we investing in? Who are we investing? How are we investing? What are we investing in? What are we investing in our own people? This whole question of universities and how do we bring our people to a particular level that we can transition the education and the knowledge that we have into building this little Tobago and to make it the greatest little island. And that's another slogan or philosophy of the TPP. All right, the IDA, we also will get, we are ready for another interview, and let me know and we'll get to that. But, and so 44 candidates from all the parties, of course, as filed their nomination papers today, and we are looking at Kwesi, and we are probably getting an interview from him. As I said, he's the senior among the PNM candidates, and of course, Mr. Anil Dennis has been Chief Secretary also. So let's, we are getting ready, guys, for an interview or a conversation with Kwesi.
Smiler.
When you're ready. Can I see the chicken muscle?
Thanks. Yes, we can think about this one for now. Oh. You good? 1 minute? Yeah, 1 minute. Hold on, right? Thanks for all your patience.
Good to go ahead. Let's be with him for one more.
Oh.
All right. Ready? All right, good morning. Let me just first say thank you to Almighty God. I'm truly humbled for the opportunity this morning. Thank you to my support system, my mother, my wife, who are both here with me, all of those supporters. And of course, thank you to my agent, Mr. Charles. The process this morning was extremely smooth because my agent was extremely meticulous. And so we were able to get in and out in record time, I would say. And so we look forward to, as we move on from this important step, now moving on to the business of being elected, of putting Tobago first again.
How confident are you of beating Mr. Ian Whitey Pollard?
Everything is in God's hands. And so because of him, I'm extremely confident at this point in time. The people are complaining of a true lack of representation, their utter disappointment, and they look forward to complete, competent representation at this time.
Mr. Devines, you were here before,
yes,
and the electorate rejected the PNM. What can you offer the electorate this time around?
The good thing about it is that it's not the first time the electorate rejected the PNM. And it won't be the first time that the electorate recognized that it really is the PNM who puts the country, and in the case of Tobago, puts Tobago first. And so the message is very clear. People have seen it in Mason or Mariah in particular. People have seen it. In the last 4 years, absolutely nothing has happened. The condition of the roads are terrible. People are neglected. People still using latrines. People's roofs are leaking. The homes are in a mess. Simple opportunities for young people. The recreation grounds, the facilities, sporting facilities are in a mess. Young people are being neglected. The elderly are being neglected. And what people are looking forward to is relief. And I can commit from today forward, as I've done before, that I will bring that relief whether it's to the elderly, to the fishermen, to the footballers, to the youth who are looking for real opportunity. I'm going to be there on the ground with them day in, day out. And that's my solemn commitment at this time.
Thank you so much, Mr.
We also saw a vote for change in Trinidad on April 28th. So what can you tell to the electorate in Tobago to vote for change?
Well, I'm not even going to say vote for change. I'm going to say vote for yourselves. The reality is people are feeling the pain, as I said, and that's not a made-up thing. People are feeling pain. I've never seen victimization like I've seen in Tobago like now. People are literally scared to come out in the open, to speak out. And the fact that people have to be afraid to be themselves, to be Tobagonian, that's not the Tobago. And so my appeal is to the right-thinking Tobagonians at this point in time. You know that this is not the Tobago that we all grew up loving, and we need to restore Tobago. We need to revive Tobago. And the reality is we saw that URP, CPEP, reforestation, all of these workers, 20,000 workers were sent home in the first month of this new government. And the fact is that there's no parliamentary allocation for URP or CPEP in Tobago. And to take it even further, in 2012, this very same Kamala Persad-Possessor administration took the THA to court for the reforestation program, and won, by the way. And the ruling by Justice Kangaloo then was that the THA is a policy taker. And if it is that the reforestation program was closed in Trinidad, it had to be closed in Tobago. And so if the policy of the government is to close CPEP URP, then according to the ruling of Justice Kangaloo in 2012, we actually have to close URP and CPEP in Tobago. And that is a scary thing for all of those people who have these jobs, because there are still people in those positions.
Do you believe that CPEP and URP will close after the election?
It's my genuine belief, and again, I'm not just speaking about conjecture here. I'm speaking about one, no parliamentary allocation, and two, and you could look it up, I can share it if you want. There's a ruling by Justice Kangaloo that says that the THA is a policy taker, notwithstanding the THA Act. Section 25(1) of the THA Act, it says that the THA is a policy taker and has to take policy from the government. And the government's policy has been to send home thousands of workers. We saw it in the news reported today that the civil society is inundated with calls for more hampers like never before, because people are suffering. And that is what is going on in Tobago as well. People are suffering, and URP and CPEP are destined to be closed. And the PNM has a plan to rescue these jobs.
Thank you.
Kwesi Devines there. Of course, he is now the official candidate for Tobago, Miss Noel Mariah for the PNM, and he's speaking about rescuing Tobago, and clearly their slogan is to put Tobago first again. And we watch to see how they are going to roll that out with roughly a couple more weeks to go for 2025 or 2026, January 12th. And so we wait with anticipated breath to hear them address these issues on their platform. Of course, Kwesi Devines would have contested the election, THA election, and lost before, and now he's back again. However, he served as councillor. I think it's the Division of Works and Infrastructure, that area. So, he has had some experience in the past in the politics, and clearly he is clear that the PNM should be given another chance based on what he's saying. Treating with the issues that are affecting citizens throughout Tobago that he spoke to, people are suffering, and we can examine and understand or to interpret what people suffer differently in different areas and so on. So, but anyway, also there are other candidates that are the areas of interest in some cases. For example, Boku Mount Pleasant, of course, a new candidate, and we were trying to, of course, he would have had a stir in terms of his shifting or crossing the floor, as it were, from the PNM to the TPP. And of course, we will get from him maybe, and I would have trust, but later on, maybe in the news, we will get an interview as to how he felt about being present, filing his nomination papers and so on. And that's Keegan Denoon, right? That would be the biggest talk in the politics here in Trinidad and Tobago. All my relatives are asking how we all deal with that over there in Tobago and so on. But we are as part of the electorate, of course, you know, we are expecting a larger voter turnout this time around. Given what happened the last election and so on. I don't have the stats to give you figure for figure, but from my recollection, there was a low voter turnout that time around. However, we'll see what happens this time. And I'm trying to stay away from figures because I do have them before me, so I don't want to give you wrong information. At the end of the day, we are heading into a 2026 election, January the 12th, and of course, we look forward to that. Also, as I said earlier, there are 44 people who would have offered themselves from the varying parties for this nomination, or filing their nomination papers today with the EBC. And of course, we'll give you the names and so on later on, maybe Monday, Tuesday, so about. But anyhow, there are 4 locations that these candidates would have gone and filed their nomination papers. Lambo, Collar Hall, Buku, and Glenmorgan, and all would have given their filed their nomination papers. Is there another clip we can go through with maybe Anil Dennis, who is the political leader of the Tobago Council, and of course he is going up against Keegan Denoon, and we will see how that works out. So are we ready? Let's take in that clip.
Listen to me, just let
They won't all let you interview me.
Just lower it down! Oh my gosh!
Right.
Just now.
Mr. Dennis?
He's not a doctor. Yes,
I'm
Mr.
taking the title
Dennis.
from now. I might do a doctorate at some
Right,
point.
so just hold up the paper a little bit.
Tell us, Mr. Dennis, how was the process? You're no stranger to this process.
Stranger to this process at all. I have one of the most experienced agents in the business, so it was a smooth process for me. And so far it has been a smooth process for all our candidates.
How do you feel about your chances against your former student, Keegan Denoon?
Very confident, and I'm also very confident of the PNM's chances of winning this next THA election on January the 12th.
Why should the people of Tobago put Tobago first again in the arms of the PNM?
Well, Tobago has been last for the last 4 years, and we are saying that if people are honest with themselves and they examine the current situation in Tobago, every sector for the last 4 years, Tobago has fallen behind. And I think it's obviously, you guys are feeling it. You guys are feeling the difficulty of the Tobago economy. The business sector is feeling it. And I think for me, this straw that should break the camel's back is really this radar situation and the Chief Secretary's posture. The fact that he's flip-flopping from at one point not having a clue about the radar, then not supporting the radar, then saying the radar might be a great thing for Tobago. And clearly he's out of touch. I heard him say last night that the radar has no impact on Tobago's tourism sector, which is absolutely false. I have been talking to hoteliers and other business persons in the tourism sector, and many of them have been complaining that this period, the Christmas period going into the New Year, is typically a busy period for the people of Tobago where tourism is concerned. And those businesses are experiencing unprecedented levels of cancellation. And when you inquire of some of the guests, they are afraid to come to Tobago. They are afraid to even come to this region because of the latest developments. So clearly our Chief Secretary is out of touch. He is compromised. He is clearly in the pockets of the UNC and their financiers. He's clearly a puppet of Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa. And I think the people of Tobago, especially at this point in time, should call on this new PNM team It's a new team. We have done the work for the last 4 years, assessing our loss, assessing the needs of the people of Tobago. And I want to say as well that on Sunday at 5 p.m., Magdalena Grand, we will be unveiling our bold new vision to take Tobago to the next level and to put the people of Tobago first again. So I'm saying to the people of Tobago to pay attention, because that is perhaps the most important development in this election. And I believe as well that all the leaders of the political parties should campaign based on their plans, right? We shouldn't be hearing anything about children of Satan and children of God. We shouldn't be hearing anything about pretty penny and all that foolishness. Let's talk about Tobago's issues. And against that backdrop, I am challenging the Chief Secretary and all the leaders of other political parties to a debate. Meet us somewhere in the PNM, somewhere at some location before the next election. Let's talk about our plans and let the people of Tobago decide which party has the best plans and which party, most importantly, has that proven track record of delivery and therefore will be in a position to deliver to the people of Tobago.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis.
Welcome. Questions?
Yes, indeed, the call for debate, and that's a bold call, and you just might get an answer. We just have to put that in place for that to happen. And in some cases, there are, some politicians stay away from debate. But you want a neutral ground where people can feel comfortable. And you don't want to have a cluster of candidates. You want to do either 3 at a time or 4 at a time, and to get to where, but in some cases, they don't get enough time. And I could always go back to the classic debate. The first and the only one in this country, really, was at the Magdalena Grand some years ago with Hochoi Charles, Orville London, and Ashworth Jack. And that is what I'm talking about. I don't want, and I would hope that we come to a place where we can accommodate that kind of debate. In some cases, you have too many people and so on. But anyway, all right, so we have another one. Let's go. Are you ready?
Election day. All right, my DJ. Just let me go down and take a view. Interview on that DJ. Lock it up for him.
How do you feel about representing this area? What do you bring to?
Very elated to be the representative for Petal New Grange. I bring grace, I bring hope, I bring love, I bring representation. I'm ready to lead and ready to work.
You make movements on the ground. What have you seen with regards to what needs to be fixed?
Well, it's infrastructure, normal employment, unemployment relief, and different things. I've been on the ground, I've been listening to the people, and I together with my team, we will get it done.
How was the nomination process for you?
Very smooth. Because of the dry run, we were well prepared, so everything went smooth. Thanks to my team and the People's National Movement.
Thank you.
So that's the PNM candidate for Petal New Grange, of course. He's going up, Timothy. Trying to make out the name there, it's, forgive me, some of the names I'm not necessarily familiar with, that's the truth. So I'm not, Timothy, all right. And he's going up against Darren. I'm not trying to pretend I know all the names and so on. All right, so, and of course, interesting, and you hear talk about vision and who will do what and so on. At the end of the day, we look forward to see what they bring to the table. Yeah, Sterling Timothy is his name. Yeah, all right, and so we look forward to seeing these candidates and what they bring to the table. And at the end of the day, this is Tobago. And, I always say representation means representing everybody, not necessarily any one person or party. After the election, you forget who wear what color. All right, so that's it. We have another clip. As soon as we're ready, let's take that in. And of course, yeah. Oh, this is Penelope, and of course, this is the opposition leader of the PNM nationally. She's here in Tobago, obviously, supporting her troops. And of course, Ms. Beckles and hugging the Tobago leader. And I expect we are going to get an interview with her. And as soon as we can, we will. And of course, we'll bring it to you. And she's making her way there. Of course, you heard there from Anil Dennis earlier about the whole question of name calling and to deal with the issues. And of course, he's calling for a debate. How well did that work in the favor of those who will be able to do, in some cases, some people will get away with anything on a platform, but when they are under the scrutiny of a debate, it's a total different thing. So we watch to see. I hope that happens. As I'm one of those who give full support to any debate. That's where you see the quality and the standard and what is expected of you can show the true meta.
You can see there's a lot of excitement. And I'm here, of course, with the political leader, Anil Dennis. He is the candidate for this area. So I am told that he has filed his nomination papers, and we now look forward to victory on the 12th of January for the People's National Movement. Yes.
About the PNM's chances in going forward, they are saying put Tobago first again.
Yes, I mean, yes, but that's our theme. We are very positive. We are very energized. And we are looking forward to victory. I mean, the political leader, Tobago, Anil Dennis, he has been a former candidate on the last occasion. He lost by just a few votes, and we are looking for victory, and we have a lot of good candidates. They're all here. The screening exercise was completed at the end of June, which means to say that the candidates would have been out on the field very early. Yes, we know that we have only had one seat, Kelvin Morris. He has been an excellent flag bearer for the People's National Movement in the THA, and we're looking forward again for victory for him. And they have been doing a lot of work. I mean, we understand the issues. We know that one of the issues alive in Tobago is the whole issue of the radar. We also know, following the budget, particularly because Tobago is the majority of people are employed in the tourism sector, and the fact that you have brought this tax, especially knowing that so many Tobagonians have apartments and they really depend on that for their livelihood. I am very sure that the government did not think of Tobago when they put in place that kind of measures. So we look at what is the impact the radar has been having. We are hearing a lot of the business community in Tobago, they are very concerned. A number of people have cancelled their reservations. So it means that the tourism sector, there's a lot of concern as to what will happen having regard to that. Well, I think you'll have to ask the political leader as it relates to that. I mean, I was not here when it happened, when it clashed, so I do not want to comment on something that I do not know. And Phil, do you want to make any comments on that?
Yeah, well, I was further along the road, so I didn't see exactly what transpired. I think the police were here and they had things under control. And it is the police to determine if any law was broken. They were here present, they saw everything, so it is for them to really determine any course of legal action that might be necessary. And therefore, we don't intend to file any complaint. As far as I'm aware, nobody was assaulted or anything like that. So we will just continue to conduct ourselves with discipline and with order and with the kind of passion and dignity that the PNM is accustomed to.
But more importantly, we understand that the candidate that is going up against our political leader is someone who was previously a member of the party. I mean, we will not be intimidated. You know, we know that Anil has done the work over the years, and we know he's a very good candidate. So therefore, we are not going to get involved in any level of intimidation, and that really would not deter us. We are focused on winning, and we are focused on returning to the THA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
From Penelope Beckles, and of course she is the opposition leader. She's here in Tobago, obviously, nomination day, and she's spoken to some of the issues that they are concerned about. And of course, the radar, as far as, has been dominating the headlines. And of course, she is very clear. She spoke about cancellation of people coming to Tobago, given the presence of this radar. And there are those who are saying that, it's just making politics, as it were. But we will hear from, on the platform, how they decide or intend to speak to these issues. And of course, you heard me earlier about this whole question of the Tobago self-governance matter. And there are other matters that need to be spoken to and treated with. And so we are clear. There are other clips that we would be able to take in. Are we ready with the other one? Let's go. Mr. Guy, all right, so see you after the break. See you after the interview. Yes, that's what I meant to say.
It was quick, it was smooth, because we went through the dry process, so it was good so far.
What do you bring for your representatives for this area?
Oh, I bring a lot of youth and vibrancy and new vision for Tobago and Bethesda by extension.
How do you feel about your chances?
I'm feeling good. Let's remain steadfast towards the journey, and let God do His work. Any questions? All right, thanks.
What's back? Put up that flag, boy. Green. Go on the next side, Go in the back, here. How was the process?
Yeah? It was very smooth. It was very smooth.
What do you bring forward?
Wait! Because she's always doing that. I said everybody ready now. No. Yeah, but oh gosh. Wait.
Clear.
Right. We ready now.
Right.
Tell us how was the process?
The process was very smooth. And this is my first time, so, it's a very good experience.
Okay, tell us, what do you bring to the table that you believe the people of Tobago should choose you?
I am a sports fanatic, right? I have been doing my tournament, Kick It with Karen, right? And I love sports, and I have studied abroad. I have also played professionally abroad. And now I'm coming back to Tobago to be able to bring that experience and to also make a difference, not only at a youth level, but all different areas and the diaspora of Tobago.
How do you feel about your chances?
I feel very strong about my chances. I have been serving. Service is not nothing new to me, so it's not like I have to try to serve. You understand? I have been doing my tournament for the last 10 years, which that in itself is service. I've been playing with the national team for the last 21 years, and I've been playing football for 27 years. So service is nothing I have to try to do. It's already in me.
Thank you.
Of course, is saying that service is in her, and of course we wait to see how she will roll out her vision, should she be selected, or elected rather. All right, we have another, let's go. Are you ready? Oh, that's it? All right, so well, we want to thank you very much for being with us, and of course you got earlier the TPP the TPP presentation of their candidates, not presentation, but they're going to have their registered at the EC for the nomination. Filing their nomination papers is what I'm looking for. And that was done today, and so you got that earlier. Now we have the PNM. You see, yeah, that's still trying to bring balance, right? And so we have done that. And of course, we are going to have conversations with all of these candidates going forward. And of course, we will hear from the IDA. Yes? All right, so I have to hold on a little bit more, but at the end of the day, yeah. So, you know, exciting times. Tobago in the middle of, you know, a very tense situation, and we are hoping that this election is not interrupted, and we are hoping that the entire season leading up to Christmas and our Carnival is not interrupted at all. We are praying and hoping that there is peace and to maintain that this place is peaceful. And so that's the main concern outside of what is happening right here with our election in Tobago. All right? And of course, we hope peaceful and fair and free election, no intimidation by anyone. And so we anticipate. Of course, today, all candidates, 44 of them, would have filed their nomination papers. And of course, the varying locations were all occupied. Today, the Lambo Multipurpose Community Center, the Cutler Hall Multipurpose, they call it multipurpose, right? Buku Community Center, and of course, Glenmorgan. And they went to the varying communities and would have filed their nomination papers. Of course, all parties, mainly the two parties, PNM and the TPP, would have come out with their supporters, their paraphernalias, and all the excitement. And where we are looking at here right now is, you want to call it a little clash, but all fun and in support of their varying parties. Of course, you have the blue and the red there, showing off their colors, so to speak. And well, this would be settled on the 12th of January, election day 2026. So we are in, you know, a very jubilant and excited mood presently. We just want to keep it loving and peaceful. At the end of the day, this is Tobago, and of course, we want a nice, peaceful transitioning. All right, so as we get ready for 2026, all right, so we have the IDA coming, and we will get into that in a minute. And of course, we'll hear from Dr. Dennis and the rest of her cast, almost a cast, the rest of the candidates as they present themselves to be, she's cooking up football. Interestingly, given that, you know, Ms. Forbes, Karen Forbes is a footballer, and clearly she's walking with a football as she filed her nomination pieces. All right, IDA interview, let's take it in now.
It was smooth, it was a smooth process. And I'm now official, the candidate for Bethel Newgrange, and it means that I have to work a little harder now in order to bring home that seat, now that I'm official the candidate. Thank you very much.
How was the process for you inside?
Very smooth and easy, very smooth. It was good.
All right, so well, that would bring us to the end. Of course, one from the IDA, and he's representing Petal Benoit. Don't have the name, so I can't call his name. All right, so what we'll do, hey, we want to thank you for viewing and for following us here, and we want to, you know, encourage you to keep following us. So we bring you all the interests, and the concerns, and all the interviews and so on for leading up to this election 2026, January the 12th. So with that, I want to thank you for, hey, embrace the urgency of today. For tomorrow's a mystery. Better be saying so long.